Admiral Du-hyun Park stood at the window of the United Earth Council chamber, his hands clasped behind his back. The morning sun reflected off the tall buildings of New Geneva, but his attention was fixed on the holographic figures floating in the center of the room. The aliens from the Galactic Council looked almost human, except for their silvery skin and eyes that seemed too large. Their voices echoed through the chamber as they delivered their message. "Earth has 72 hours to stop all quantum technology research," said the tallest alien. "You will hand over all research data and accept our oversight. If you refuse, Earth will be cut off from all galactic trade routes." Do-hyun's face remained calm, but his fingers tightened behind his back. Earth had worked too hard to give up now. The room was silent except for the soft breathing of the 30 human council members. "The council has spoken," the alien said. "You have 30 Earth days to comply." The holograms vanished, leaving the room in tense silence. Council President Adams turned to Do-hyun. "Admiral Park, what are our options?" Before Do-hyun could answer, the chamber doors opened. Director Han Ji-Kim walked in, her black uniform neat as always. She carried a small data tablet. "We don't need options," Han Ji said. She placed the tablet on the main table. "We're ready." Do-hyun smiled. He had worked with Han Ji for 15 years, and she never failed to plan ahead. "Show them," he said. Han Ji pressed a button on the tablet. A new hologram appeared, showing something that made several council members gasp. It was a massive spaceship, unlike anything Earth had officially built. "The Earthborn Dawn," Han Ji said. "Our first quantum-powered warship. And it's not alone. We have 20 more like it, hidden in the lunar shipyards." "Impossible," someone whispered. "The Council's monitors would have seen them." "Not with our new cloaking technology," Han Ji replied. "We've been building these ships for 3 years. The Council thinks we're just learning about quantum science, but we've already mastered it." Do-hyun walked to the center of the room. "The Council gave us their ultimatum because they're afraid. They've ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years by keeping younger races weak, but they made a mistake with humans." He pointed to the hologram of the ship. "They gave us 30 days, thinking we would give up. Instead, they gave us time to finish our preparations." President Adams stood up. "Are you suggesting we fight the entire Galactic Council? They have thousands of ships." "Old ships," Han Ji said, "using old technology. They haven't fought a real war in 5,000 years. They've grown comfortable and lazy." Do-hyun walked around the table, looking at each council member. "We don't want war, but we won't be slaves either. Earth has friends out there. Other young races tired of council control. They're waiting for someone to stand up first." Han Ji changed the hologram, showing a map of council space. "We've placed our ships at key points across their territory. When the deadline comes, we'll show them that humanity won't bow to threats." The council chamber grew quiet as everyone thought about what this meant. Earth wasn't just refusing the council's demands, it was challenging their power over the entire galaxy. President Adams looked at the ship hologram again. "Admiral Park, Director Kim, are you certain we're ready for this?" Do-hyun and Han Ji looked at each other. They had spent years preparing for this moment. Do-hyun nodded. "We're ready. The Council thinks they're giving us an ultimatum. Instead, they're giving us a chance to change everything." Han Ji smiled. "They expect us to surrender in 30 days. Instead, they'll learn why you should never underestimate humans." The council members began to talk excitedly. Do-hyun looked out the window again, at the bright blue sky above New Geneva. In 30 days, that sky would see the beginning of a new age, not just for Earth, but for the entire galaxy. The ultimatum had been delivered, but the council was about to learn that threats only made humans stronger. The countdown had begun. Chief Engineer Jae-won Lee walked through the massive underground hangar of Luna Base, her footsteps echoing in the artificial atmosphere. Around her, thousands of workers moved with purpose, preparing Earth's secret fleet for the coming confrontation. The Earthborn dawn filled most of the cavern, its black hull absorbing the bright work lights. At nearly 2 kilometers long, it was the largest ship humans had ever built. G1 touched its smooth surface, feeling the slight vibration of the quantum engines beneath. "Engineering Chief," a voice called. Commander Sun Mai Choi approached, her uniform crisp despite the dusty lunar environment. "How are the final preparations going?" Ji-1 pulled up a holographic display from her wrist computer. "The quantum core is stable. We've finished installing the new shield generators on all 20 ships. The Council's weapons won't be able to touch us." Sun Li nodded, but her expression remained serious. "What about the cloaking systems? The Council's satellites will pass over this region in 6 hours." "Don't worry," Ji-1 said. She pressed a button on her display. Above them, massive panels in the cavern ceiling began to move. Lunar dust fell as the panels opened, revealing the star-filled sky above. "Watch this." She entered another command. The Earthborn dawn shimmered for a moment, then seemed to fade away. Within seconds, the massive ship had vanished completely. Even the engine vibrations Ji-1 had felt earlier were gone. "Perfect invisibility," Ji-1 said proudly. "Not just to eyes, but to all sensors. The Council's satellites will see nothing but empty lunar rock." Sun Li smiled for the first time that day. "Impressive. But can we maintain the cloak when we launch?" "Even better." J1 walked to a nearby viewport, pointing to the lunar surface. "We've hidden quantum field generators across the moon's surface. When we launch, they'll create false sensor readings. The Council will think it's just normal lunar magnetic activity." In the hangar, crews were loading the last supplies into the other ships. Each vessel was different from traditional Council designs. Where Council ships were elegant and decorative, Earth's ships were built for war. Their angular shapes and reinforced hulls showed humanity's different approach to space travel. 29 days left, Sun Mai said quietly. "Do you think we're doing the right thing? Challenging the entire Council?" Ji-1 turned to her friend. "Remember what they did to the Centauric colonies last year? All those people forced to abandon their homes because the Council decided humans were expanding too quickly." She shook her head. "The Council needs to learn they can't control us anymore." Their conversation was interrupted by an alert from Ji-1's computer. "Council diplomatic ship approaching lunar orbit," the computer announced. "Estimated arrival, 30 minutes. "Right on schedule," Sun Mai said. "They're here to check if we're actually considering their demands." Ji-1 pressed more commands into her computer. Throughout the cavern, lights dimmed and equipment powered down. The massive ships, already invisible, now fell completely silent. Thousands of workers moved quickly to hidden chambers beneath the hangar floor. Within minutes, the huge space appeared to be nothing more than an empty lunar cave. G1 and Sun Mai watched through the viewport as a sleek Council ship passed overhead, its sensors scanning the lunar surface. "They see nothing," Ji-1 confirmed, checking her readings. "Just like every other inspection this year." Sun Mai placed a hand on the invisible hull of the Earthborn dawn. 29 days, she repeated. "Then we show them what humanity can really do." Above them, the Council ship continued its patrol, its crew unaware that Earth's greatest secret lay right beneath them. In less than a month, that secret would change the galaxy forever. Ambassador Tae-Yum Kang sat in the grand meeting hall of the Galactic Council's central station. The massive room sparkled with crystal and gold, showing off the Council's wealth and power. But Tae-Yum wasn't impressed. He knew it was all built with resources taken from younger races like Earth. "Surely you understand our position," said High Counselor Vax, his silver skin gleaming under the bright lights. "Earth's quantum research is too dangerous to continue without supervision." Tae-Yum kept his face neutral, just as he had practiced. "Of course, High Counselor. Earth wants to be a responsible member of the galactic community." He paused, checking the time on his hidden display. 28 days until the deadline. "Perhaps we could discuss a compromise." While Tae-Yum kept the Council distracted, Captain Minho Song was meeting with representatives from other young races in a small bar station near the galaxy's edge. The bar's noise helped hide their conversation from Council listening devices. Earth has a plan, Minho told the others quietly. When we move against the Council, will your people support us? The alien delegates looked nervous. One of them, a blue-skinned Proximan, spoke first. The Council has ruled for 10,000 years. How can Earth hope to stand against them? Minho smiled. The Council's power comes from keeping us afraid and separate. But Earth has found a way to break their control. He showed them a small quantum device. This lets us communicate without the Council knowing. We can coordinate our actions. Back at the Council station, Tai Young was still talking. Earth will need time to prepare for Council oversight, he said smoothly. Our industrial bases must be modified. Our research facilities reorganized. How much time? Asked another counselor. 30 days would be insufficient, Tai Young replied. We request an extension of at least 3 months. The counselors began to argue among themselves. Tai Young watched them carefully. They were so sure of their power, they couldn't imagine anyone deceiving them. Meanwhile, Minho was showing the other representatives more proof of Earth's capabilities. Look at these images, he said, displaying pictures of Council military bases. Their defenses are old. Their ships haven't been upgraded in centuries. They rely on fear, not strength. A reptilian delegate leaned forward. If Earth leads the way, my people will follow. We're tired of Council control. One by one, the other representatives agreed. Minho sent a coded quantum message to Earth. The coalition is ready. In the Council chamber, Tai Young received the message through his hidden earpiece. He smiled slightly. High Counselors, he said, standing up. I have another proposal to discuss. As Tai Young continued to distract the Council with careful words and false compromises, Earth's allies began their own secret preparations. Ships were moved into position. Weapons were distributed. Communications networks were established using Earth's quantum technology. The Council believed they were in control. They thought their ultimatum had Earth trapped, but with every passing hour, their power grew weaker. Very well, High Counselor Vax said finally. We will consider extending the deadline. Return tomorrow with your new proposal. Tai Young bowed respectfully. Thank you for your wisdom, High Counselors. As he walked out of the chamber, he sent a short message to Earth. They suspect nothing. In 27 days, the Council would learn the cost of their arrogance. The pieces were in place. The allies were ready, and Earth's fleet waited in the shadows, preparing to change the galaxy forever. The Grand Council chamber was full on the final day. Hundreds of delegates from across the galaxy had come to watch Earth surrender. High Counselor Vax sat on his crystal throne, waiting for Ambassador Tai Young to deliver Earth's submission. But Tai Young wasn't there. The Earth delegate is late, Vax announced, his voice echoing through the chamber. This shows their disrespect for Council authority. Suddenly, every screen in the chamber turned on by itself. Admiral Do Hyun Park's face appeared, looking calm and determined. Greetings, High Council, Do Hyun said. Earth has considered your ultimatum carefully. This is our answer. The screens changed to show space around the Council station. There, appearing out of nowhere, was the massive form of the Earthborn Dawn. Its black hull seemed to absorb the starlight, making it look like a piece of the night sky had come alive. But it wasn't alone. Across Council space, at 12 critical locations, Earth's ships appeared simultaneously. They emerged near trade routes, military bases, and key Council facilities. Each ship was a dark shadow against the stars, powerful and threatening. The Council chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted and pointed at the screens. Some ran for the exits. Vax stood up, his silver skin turning pale. Impossible, he whispered. Our sensors would have detected them. Your sensors are obsolete, Do Hyun said from the screen. Just like your authority over Earth, we reject your ultimatum. Commander Sun Meichoi's voice joined the broadcast from the Earthborn Dawn. All Earth ships report ready, Admiral. The Council's defense fleet is still in their docks. They haven't even raised their shields. In the Council chamber, Vax was shouting orders. Launch our ships. Activate the defense systems. But it was too late. Earth's ships had already taken control of key positions. Captain Min Ho Song's voice came next. All Allied forces confirm. Council military bases are surrounded. Their communications are cut off. Director Han Ji Kim appeared on a separate screen, speaking from Earth. For too long, the Council has kept younger races weak and divided. You demanded we give up our quantum technology. Instead, we used it to break your power. The Council delegates watched in stunned silence as more ships appeared. But these weren't Earth vessels. They were ships from other young races, all the secret allies Captain Min Ho had gathered. The galaxy is changing, Du Hyun announced. The age of Council domination is over. You have two choices: work with us as equals, or watch your empire crumble. High Counselor Vax sank back into his throne. For the first time in 10,000 years, the Council faced a force they couldn't control. Engineer Ji-Won Lee's voice came through next. All quantum field generators are active. Admiral, the Council's entire defense network is blind. Their ships can't leave their docks without our permission. Do Hyun looked directly at Vax through the screen. You gave us 30 days, thinking we were weak. We used that time to show you how wrong you were. Now, High Counselor, shall we discuss new terms? As equals. The Council chamber was silent. Earth's trap was perfect. Without firing a single shot, they had taken control of the galaxy's most powerful government. The ultimatum had failed, and a new age was beginning. The Arcturus Gateway shimmered like a ribbon of light against the dark of space. Commander Sun Meichoi watched from the bridge of the Earthborn Dawn as the Council's response fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel. Their ships looked like giant silver arrows, beautiful but deadly. 150 Council warships detected, reported her sensor officer. Their main dreadnought is twice our size. Sun Mai remained calm. Size wasn't everything, and Earth had planned for this moment. All ships, battle formation Delta, she ordered. Remember your training. The Earth fleet moved with perfect precision. 20 ships spread out in a three-dimensional pattern that would have been impossible for older vessels to maintain. Their black hulls absorbed sensor scans, making them hard to target. The Council Dreadnought's commander spoke over an open channel. Surrender now, humans. You cannot defeat the combined might of our fleet. Sun Mei smiled. Engineer Ji-Won, are you ready? Quantum cores at full power. Ji-Won's voice came through clearly. New shield configuration is active. They won't know what hit them. The Council fleet launched their first attack. Thousands of energy beams streaked across space toward Earth's ships. But when they hit the quantum shields, something strange happened. Instead of exploding, the energy simply vanished. Impossible. The Council commander shouted, "Our weapons have destroyed planets." "Not today," Sun Mai replied. "All ships, execute pattern break." The Earth fleet suddenly split into three groups. Their movements were unlike anything seen in space combat before. While Council ships could only move in straight lines, Earth's quantum drives let them change direction instantly. "Now they see why we trained so hard," Sun Mai said to her crew. "Show them what humans can do." Earth's ships fired their new weapons for the first time. Beams of concentrated quantum energy cut through the Council's shields like they weren't there. 3 Council ships disappeared in bright flashes of light. The Council fleet tried to regroup, but they were too slow. Their formations were based on fighting styles that were thousands of years old. Against Earth's new tactics, they were helpless. Their shields are based on old technology, Ji-Won explained over the command channel. They never imagined someone would learn to manipulate quantum fields like this. The battle continued for another hour, but it wasn't really a fight anymore. It was a demonstration. Earth's ships danced through the Council formation, disabling ships without destroying them. Sun Mai had given strict orders. Show Earth's power, but avoid killing when possible. Council command ship is retreating, announced the censor officer. 40% of their fleet is disabled. The rest are falling back. Sun Mai opened a channel to all ships. Let them go. They need to report what happened here. The Council fleet disappeared into faster-than-light travel, leaving their disabled ships behind. Earth's fleet moved to help the stranded Council crews. Even in victory, humans would show mercy. Battle report. Sun Mai requested. 0 Earth ships lost. Minimal shield damage. All systems functioning perfectly, came the response. Sun Mai looked out at the disabled Council ships. Their once beautiful silver hulls were dark now, their power systems knocked out by Earth's superior technology. Send word to Admiral Park, she ordered. The Council's best fleet has been defeated. The gateway is secure. The Arcturus gateway still shimmered in space, but everything else had changed. In a single battle, humanity had proven that 10,000 years of Council dominance meant nothing against human innovation and determination. They thought they were coming to punish us, Sun Mai said quietly. Instead, they learned why you should never corner humans. We tend to surprise you. Director Han Ji Kim stood in Earth's new command center, watching streams of data flow across the giant screens. Reports were coming in from across the galaxy. The news of Earth's victory at Arcturus Gateway was spreading fast, and it was having exactly the effect they had hoped for. Another uprising on Proxima 3, reported Captain Minho Song. He pointed to a blinking light on the galactic map. The local council governor tried to maintain control, but the people forced him to step down. No bloodshed. Han Ji nodded with satisfaction. And the quantum communicators we provided. Working perfectly, Minho confirmed. The council can't stop the news from spreading anymore. Their information control is breaking down. On one screen, they watched as Jun Seo-yoon, Earth's chief intelligence officer, addressed the galactic media. He was revealing files that Earth had discovered in captured Council databases. For 10,000 years, Jun Seo explained, showing ancient documents, the Council has deliberately held back developing races. They sabotaged new technologies, created artificial conflicts, and stole resources. But now we have proof. The evidence was overwhelming. Records showed how the Council had interfered with hundreds of civilizations, keeping them dependent and weak. Many of these civilizations were watching Jun Seo's broadcast, learning for the first time how they had been manipulated. 3 more systems have declared independence, Minho announced. The Council's local fleets aren't even trying to stop them. They know they can't win against our technology. Han Ji touched a control, opening a communication channel to Ambassador Taidum Kang. His hologram appeared, showing him aboard one of Earth's ships. How are the negotiations going? She asked. Better than expected, Taeyum replied. 17 council member races have already agreed to join our coalition. They're tired of being controlled by the ancient races. They want change. Han Ji studied the map. Across the galaxy, points of light showed where peoples were rising up. Not with violence, but with quiet determination. Earth's example had given them courage. The Council's biggest mistake, Minho said, was thinking that keeping races separate would keep them weak. Instead, it just made us all want freedom more. A new alert flashed on the main screen. A group of Council science ships had appeared near one of Earth's bases, but they weren't attacking. They were asking for asylum. Their chief researcher says they've waited centuries to be allowed to do real science. Minho reported, reading their message. They want to join Earth's research teams. Han Ji smiled. This was what Earth had hoped for. Not just defeating the Council, but showing a better way. Cooperation instead of control. Growth instead of restriction. Director, called an aide, Admiral Park is requesting to speak with you. Do Hyun's face appeared on the main screen. He looked tired but satisfied. "The Council's main fleet is standing down," he reported. "Their crews are refusing to fight. Word of what happened at Arcturus has reached them." "Any resistance?" Hanji asked. "Only from the ancient races," Du-hyun replied. "The younger council members are already talking about reform. They're calling for a complete reorganization of the council system." Hanji looked at the galaxy map again. The points of light were spreading, connecting, forming new patterns. The old order was falling away, replaced by something new and more equal. "Send word to all Earth ships," she ordered. "The revolution phase is complete. Begin Operation New Dawn." The ancient council chamber looked different now. The golden thrones of the high councilors were empty. Instead, representatives from all council races sat in a circle, making everyone equal. Ambassador Taeyum Kang watched from his seat as the debate continued. "The old system must end," declared the representative from the Proxima worlds. "For too long, the ancient races have claimed they were protecting us. Now we know they were only protecting their power." High Councilor Vax, now stripped of his special throne, stood to object. "You forget who lifted your people from their primitive worlds. Who gave you the stars?" "No," Taeyang said quietly, but his voice carried through the chamber. "You didn't give us the stars. You controlled how far we could reach for them." Engineer Ji-Won Lee's new quantum communication system allowed billions across the galaxy to watch this historic debate. On thousands of worlds, people saw their representatives finally speaking the truth. "The ancient races kept us dependent," said another young council member. "They gave us just enough technology to be useful, but never enough to be equal." The chamber erupted in arguments. But these were different from the quiet, controlled discussions of the old council. These were real debates about real change. Captain Minho Song, watching from a nearby room with other Earth officials, turned to his colleagues. "The coalition is holding strong. 28 former council races now support the reforms." In the chamber, Taeyang stood to address everyone. "Earth doesn't want to replace the council's control with our own. We want to build something new. A system where all races can grow and develop without artificial limits." He activated a holographic display, showing the new quantum technologies Earth was offering to share. "Look at what we achieved in secret in just a few years of freedom. Imagine what all our peoples could do together." Some of the ancient races' representatives looked angry, but others seemed thoughtful. Centuries of power were hard to give up, but they could see the future changing around them. "The humans are right," said one of the eldest ancient race members, surprising everyone. "Our fear of change has become our weakness. Perhaps it is time for us to learn from the younger races." Outside the chamber, Earth's quantum network was enabling something the Council had always feared: direct communication between all species. People across the galaxy were sharing ideas, art, and discoveries without council filters or controls. "This is what they feared most," Minho said, watching the exchanges. "Not our ships or weapons, but our ability to bring people together." Taeyang continued addressing the chamber. "We have two paths before us. We can cling to the old system of control and watch it break apart, or we can build a new system based on cooperation and mutual respect." The vote that followed wasn't even close. The majority of council races, even some of the ancient ones, voted for complete reform. The old council system was officially ended. As the results were announced, cheers erupted not just in the chamber, but across the galaxy. The quantum network carried the celebrations everywhere at once, uniting thousands of worlds in a moment of joy. "Send word to Earth," Taeyang said to Minho. "Tell them the hard part is just beginning. Now we have to prove that our new way is better than the old." 1 year after Earth's rejection of the Council's ultimatum, the galaxy had changed more than anyone could have imagined. Commander Sun Mai-choi stood in the transformed council chambers, now called the Concordat Assembly, watching as representatives from 300 species gathered for the historic first session. The old crystal and gold decorations were gone. In their place were simple but beautiful artworks from all member worlds, including a piece of the Berlin Wall from Earth. It stood as a reminder that barriers between peoples were meant to be torn down. Admiral Du Hyun Park addressed the assembly from the speaker's platform, which rotated between species each month. 1 year ago, we faced a choice between submission and conflict. Instead, we found a third path: transformation. The gallery was full of observers from across the galaxy. Among them were many young aliens using quantum devices that engineer Jae-Won Lee had designed. These tools let them share their thoughts and experiences instantly with their homeworlds. The Galactic Concordat is not like the old council, Du Hyun continued. We don't control. We connect. We don't restrict. We support. Every species is free to develop at their own pace in their own way. Director Han Ji Kim stood nearby, reviewing progress reports on her datapad. The changes were remarkable. Worlds that had been kept dependent for centuries were now solving their own problems. Species that had been enemies under council rule were working together. Quantum technology research has spread to 50 new worlds, Han Ji reported. But more importantly, each world is developing it in unique ways we never imagined. We're learning as much from them as they learned from us. The ancient races had changed too. Without the burden of controlling the galaxy, they were rediscovering their own creativity. Their representatives sat among the others, no longer separated by rank or age. Captain Min Ho-song presented the next report. Trade between worlds has increased by 400%. But it's not just resources being exchanged. It's ideas, art, and culture. The quantum network lets everyone contribute to galactic civilization. Ambassador Taeyong Kang, who had once faced the Council as an inferior, now spoke as an equal. Earth's greatest victory wasn't defeating the Council's fleet. It was showing that cooperation makes us all stronger than control ever could. The Assembly voted on new initiatives, with each species having an equal voice. They approved projects to heal damaged worlds, rescue dying stars, and explore the spaces between galaxies. Dreams that the Council had called impossible were now within reach. We still face challenges, Du Hyun admitted. Some worlds resist change. Old fears don't disappear quickly. But look how far we've come in just 1 year. Sun Li walked to a window overlooking the space dock. Earth ships now flew alongside vessels from 100 worlds. Their different designs and colors made a beautiful sight against the stars. The Council's ultimatum was meant to keep humanity in its place, she said quietly. Instead, it forced us to show everyone a better way. As the Assembly continued its work, messages of hope and progress flowed across the quantum network. The age of control was over. The age of cooperation had begun. And it all started because the Council didn't understand one simple truth. Never tell humans they can't do something. They'll prove you wrong every time.